I see what ho, chaps and chappets, Game Chap and Bertie here.
Yes.
Yes, indeed, fellows, and I dare say we have here a Nintendo rumour for you. Now, it's quite a hot rumour, it's quite a recent rumour, but that's all it is at the moment. It's just a rumour, but nevertheless quite an exciting one concerning a possible upcoming Nintendo game, haven't we, old chap?
Well, most certainly. I think a Nintendo-related rumour may be more accurate.
Indeed, old chap. This is just very much in the hypothetical stage at the moment, but it has been supported by something, okay? This is very much, shall we say, up in the air at the moment.
Yes.
However, what exactly are we talking about here, old chap?
Well, someone has posted on a social media site something that seems to be a 3DS console showing a title screen for Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door.
3D.
3D!
Okay, so now just before you all start getting very, very excited out there, and I can hear some of you are already, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door on 3DS is of course the subject of this rumour, but it is only a rumour. Now, what exactly is Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door? Well, that was of course a very popular entry, GameCube entry, in the Paper Mario series, wherein our hero Mario visited Rogueport and had to save the world from the evil Shadow Queen. Many of you of course no doubt remember that game. It was very well loved at the time. And of course, this rumour appears to show a title screen of this game in a 3DS port format. In other words, suggesting perhaps that Nintendo may have a 3DS port in the works.
Most certainly, that's the idea behind it, I think, what he was trying to portray.
Yes.
That Nintendo may, as you say, have a port of this particular game in the works for the 3DS.
Okay, now this is very, very exciting as a theory. However, of course, there has not yet been any official announcement or word from Nintendo on this matter. And what's more, it appears also that the original video of this particular supposed leak has since been removed. So we very much don't know whether or not there's any truth to this theory.
Well, most certainly. Of course, very interesting whenever videos are removed.
Well,
of course, that always makes you ask a few questions. But nevertheless, it was there. Now, what do we actually see on this video?
Okay, well, we can't show you the video here for obvious reasons. But we can see it does show the Nintendo 3DS boot-up logo, followed by the white Nintendo logo, followed by the curtains opening in the familiar fashion, and then the title screen which says Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door 3D with the small 3D on the bottom right corner, as is the case with these remake games. Now, we do know, of course, Mr. Iwata has previously said they are looking to remake more games on 3DS after the success of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and of course Star Fox 64 3D. So that possibility is certainly on the table, but this being so fresh and new like this, we are hesitant to believe any rumours, because of course in the past we have had some fake ones, haven't we?
We've had some fake ones. I think we had Rayman as a fake, didn't we?
Yes, quite an elaborate fake rumour there for someone's amusement, so of course we don't want to fall into anyone's little trap here in getting all excited and getting our hopes up only to have them dashed afterwards.
Most certainly not, but of course rumour is a rumour, and they're always exciting and fun to talk about, think about. Now, and sometimes they come out to be not rumours but real.
Well, indeed, Alby. Now there are a couple of things to keep in mind with the video footage that was shown. Firstly, the title screen was missing the Intelligent Systems logo. Okay, and Intelligent Systems were of course a big part of the original Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door.
Yes.
Now that would suggest that either it's on the bottom screen, or alternatively, perhaps Intelligent Systems weren't involved this time around because they're working on games like Fire Emblem, If, etc. and so forth. It could have been, shall we say, farmed out to someone else to handle the remake.
That's a good point, yes, and just to pick up on what you said there, this only showed the top screen. We only saw the top screen of the actual 3DS in the video.
Okay, we only saw the top screen.
That's
now, also, the other thing that troubled me slightly was, of course, that on the bottom screen there appeared to be a steady white glow coming from the bottom screen. Even though we couldn't see the bottom screen, we could see the glow, suggesting that an application was perhaps being used to play back a video. For example, something someone's knocked up in, I don't know, Windows Movie Maker, and then put it on the 3DS to try to trick us.
Right, okay, so we couldn't see the bottom screen, but it was like a glow coming from that area.
However, that is of course just my theory, and indeed this could yet prove to be real, or it could prove to be false. Either way, though, it's quite an exciting rumour, I have to say.
Well, it most certainly is, of course. Yes, now, Paper Mario, what's the history of the actual game, then?
Well, of course, we had the first Paper Mario game way back in 2001 on the Nintendo 64. That was followed up with the GameCube version, The Thousand Year Door, a couple of years later, which we are, of course, talking about now, the potential for a remake one. Then, indeed, we had the Wii version, Super Paper Mario, which some fans didn't quite like as much as the original games. And, of course, in recent times, times. In 2012, we had Paper Mario Sticker Star, which sadly got a bit of a drubbing from the fans. They said it was a bit of a break with tradition, the characters weren't quite as lively, there wasn't any experience points, etc. and so forth. Many people didn't like that one quite as much, although I played it, it was still quite a fun game.
Right, okay, so Sticker Star was the last one. Now, which platform was that out on?
Now, of course, that's a good question, Earl Chap, and that was on the Nintendo 3DS. So we have actually had a Paper Mario game before on the 3DS, which, if you ask me, raises a small question mark above this potential rumour, because, of course, if we've already had a Paper Mario game on the 3DS, why would Nintendo want to release another?
Well, I was just thinking that, actually, as you said that, if we've had one come out on the 3DS, okay, 2 or 3 years ago, it was 12.
Right.
That's quite a while ago, of course.
Yes.
There's scope for another one, but would they want to bring another one out, especially a port? Why not? Why an older one, or do they think that's a popular idea, you think?
I think it's safe to say that the Thousand Year Door was perhaps the most popular game of the series, and one that the fans love the most, so it would make sense to port this to the 3DS, especially after Mr. Iwata said they might be doing more 3DS ports, but again, there has been no official word from Nintendo at all, and this could just be an over-eager fan getting a bit excited.
It could, as you said there, very well said, an over-eager fan getting a bit excited there. We don't know, but nevertheless, as we said previously, it is a rumour, and an interesting one at that.
It's quite a fun rumour. Of course, in that particular game, you guided Mario, as I said, through Rogueport and that land, battling against all kinds of enemies, and you had a team of partners who you could use one at a time. For example, you had Admiral Bobberay, my favourite. You had the sort of wispy, sort of purple, the Cloud Lady. Her name escapes me now.
The wispy Cloud Lady.
The wispy Cloud Lady. That's right. The large one, you know. And of course, you also had characters like Goombella and many other partners to help you along your way, which could, of course, take turns with Mario battling in combat.
Most certainly, yes, indeed. It's exciting.
Yes.
You think about it, and it's exciting. You want it to happen, sort of thing.
Yes.
But the thing is, we don't know whether it's real or not.
That's right.
It opens the door, of course, to say, well, yes, will Nintendo, or the door of thought, as it were, will Nintendo bring a lot more games and port them onto the 3DS? Would people like that?
Well,
like
indeed.
To see it, it's fun to play.
Now, of course, if Thousand Year Door was remade on the 3DS, we would see a return to form for the series, because, of course, that particular game used the experience points and levelling up system, which we didn't see in Sticker Star. That was, of course, based only on the stickers you had in your sticker book. So, therefore, if we brought back the experience system, that would be quite a welcome and appreciated return to form, I'm sure, as long as Nintendo didn't try to tinker with the basic gameplay mechanics in any way.
Well, that's a good point. Yes, I suppose you're right there. They'd have to be careful that they didn't sort of spoil it in any way at all.
Exactly, of course. Now, I do think Nintendo are generally taking pains to ensure that the games are being ported more or less intact in most cases, so just assuming for a moment that this port was real, I think it would be quite an authentic experience.
Yes, I think it could certainly work, as we said there, bringing more of ported games into the 3DS, or, that I think it's something the fans would like.
Certainly I do. I would very much like to see more ports of other good GameCube games and 64 games on the 3DS, and I certainly think that's on the table, although, of course, with Nintendo's next consoles unquestionably in development right now, we've heard about the NX, and also there was the news recently that a company were making screens for a handheld device. We can say that these consoles are looming, and perhaps Nintendo will want to shift the emphasis for any future remakes perhaps onto those new platforms.
Well, that could happen, certainly, but the mere fact that this has happened, this rumour has appeared, true or not true, false or real, we don't know, but the fact that it's there means that there is a part of the community out there that would like to see this, the mere fact that it's surfaced.
Well, exactly, and of course the fact that it's been given quite a lot of attention by eager fans clamouring for this remake to be real.
Most certainly, and of course nowadays there are many ways that information can get out, no matter how tightly clamped down the company trying to keep the information.
It
still gets out.
There's always someone, isn't there, old chap?
There is. So whenever you get a rumour like this, you've got to talk about it and chat about it, because it could be real, but you just don't know.
That's right. Of course, we did have the falsified and proven false Rayman rumour for Smash Brothers, but you've got to remember that before that we did have a real rumour about Smash Brothers that spoiled the Bowser Jr. and Duck Hunt dog characters well before the official announcements, and that was proven true with the screenshots being actually 100% authentic. So we have to give every rumour a fair shake here, fellows.
That's a very good point you mentioned it. I'm not sure whether we covered that at the time.
I think we did in hushed tones, old chap.
In hushed tones?
Yes.
Yes, I do remember it, and it was very interesting. And you wondered whether they had been photoshopped, but of course it turned out to be real. Those characters appeared.
That's right. It caught many people by surprise, saying, you know, Duck Hunt Dog's impossible and Bowser Jr. no way, but they actually were in the game.
Exactly, it happened. So there we are, you see.
There you are, Freddy. It was rumour and speculation. Now, what do you think out there? Would a Paper Mario 1000-Year Door remake excite you? Is this the sort of game you'd be likely to buy and play? What do you say?
Yes, it was an old game you played before. When you played it back when it was out there, you liked it and thought, oh yes, I'd love to see it on 3DS.
Yes.
And does this sort of rumours excite you and something you'd like to see?
Well, as for me, I played it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, old chap.
Would you play it on the 3DS then?
A wondrous game. I certainly play it, old boy. Yes, of course I say. Well, there you are. This has indeed been Game Chap and Bertie Videos, bringing you news of a new Nintendo rumour. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts, I say. And do join us once more, I say, in the next exciting outing. We look forward to seeing you then.
Yes.
Until then.